We're going to start in 1 minute. Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, Barakatah to all the brothers. Yahweh Shamar, Alethah, Bahasham Yahshai to all the sisters. Officer 500s of Baja. This is I.S.U.P.K Canada. We're going to go in on our history class. We are starting a little late, but the oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of. And when you work a slavery, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Right, so let's get it. I'm going to be dropping that sign-in link. If you are interested in being a student in the I.S.U.P.K and learning the truth that the pastors won't tell you, and learning how to fight oppression and learning how not to be oppressed, and you want to learn how to love your brothers and sisters, hit that sign-in link, right? If you want to finally live with a moral compass, hit that sign-in link. Right, because outside of this school, you know your life is it's terrible, right? If you're Black, Hispanic, and Native American, outside of this school right now, you're living in hell. You're living in a situation that you wake up every day and you wonder, how is it going to change? When is the Lord going to come and change your situation for you, right? I got a news flash for you. The Lord is only going to change your situation when you want to change yourself, right? If you want to continue smoking cigarettes, weed, being a whoremonger or a whore, being a liar, if you want to continue living a life of sin, going against the Lord, it's not going to change. Right. And now there might be some that might be watching this and be like, well, my life is great. I have money that the oppressor gave me. The oppressor could stop your money at any time. If you do not believe me, just ask old Bill Cosby. Go ask R. Kelly. Go ask any Black, Hispanic, or Native American who was getting money from the oppressor, who had their money slowed up from the oppressor, right? But if you want the riches of heaven, right? If you don't want the riches of this kingdom, and you want the riches of heaven, hit that sign-in link. Right, we'll be starting in just a few moments. All right. So let's get to it. Right. So if you're in an Ontario, Southern Ontario, as you know, there was a tornado in Barrie, Ontario. Right. There was a tornado in Barrie, Ontario. Now, for those of you who don't know, Barrie, Ontario is north of the 400. Right. You go north on the 400 for about 40 minutes, about an hour, and you'll be in a town, a majority Edomite town, Caucasian town called Barrie, right, which is in Ontario, Canada. Right, they had a tornado which was it devastated Barrie. Right, wildfires are still happening. Right, along with these wildfires. One second, let's see if we can find some wildfires. Wildfires are still raging throughout Canada. Oh, I got a good one for you, right? Let's get this right quick. Wildfires are still burning in Canada. Now, many Canadians are going to ask themselves, why is this happening? Why is this happening? When is it going to stop? When is our torment going to stop? It feels like we're in hell. The air quality is bad, right? There's a drought going on. Well, it's simple, right? It's not going to stop happening for now, right? It might slow down where you might not see it as often, but this is not going to stop. This is going to continue because the Edomites in Canada, along with every other nation outside of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they have drank deliciously and eaten deliciously off the blood, sweat, and tears of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Right? So it's not going to stop. One moment. All right, we're back, right? So the other nations have eaten and drank deliciously off the blood, sweat, and tears of Native Americans in this country, of blacks, of Hispanics in Canada and around the world. So you're going to see more disasters, more plagues, more droughts, right, around the world. Specifically in Canada, you're seeing wildfires, tornadoes that don't always happen. You're seeing so many what they call natural disasters, right? We know the Lord is sending these disasters because you've been devilish, right? Oppressors have been devilish to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. They've gotten the kingdom, right? You would think they would stop. You would think, okay, you've gotten what you wanted. Now stop. Leave us alone. Let us be, right? But they haven't stopped. They haven't left us alone. They will not let us be, right? They need to continually keep us in oppression, keep us at the bottom of the grinder till we're mush, till we're nothing, right? So, da, 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 da. We'll start with we will start with Nahum 1 and 3, right? Actually, before we start there, we got something to share. We're going to share an article. We're going to share an article, get some reading, a little bit of reading in. right? Now, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you ask yourself, when is this oppression going to stop? When is the Lord going to fight for us? And when is Jesus gonna stop everything, right? You think that because you're a Christian. You're thinking, when is white Jesus going to come back and show us love? Because the Christian church tells you everything about love, right? You're going to slowly find out that the Christian church has been lying to you, right? The Christian church has been lying to you for months, for years, right? You go in there, you pay your tithes, and you just get lied to, right? If you think God is all love, then you have no idea of what that Bible says of the Lord, right? The Lord is not all love, and he's sending plagues, he's sending droughts, he's sending wildfires because oppressors and the other nations of who are also oppressors, right? But when we say oppressors, we're specifically talking about Edom, Caucasians, right? Oppressors, they've been very evil towards blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? And if you don't believe me, just type in your Google machine Kamloops residential schools, right? Just go look for Montreal burning. You're gonna find out a Marie Joseph, right? She was accused of burning Montreal, trying to escape her own slavery, her captivity, and they tortured her, right? They've been very evil to us. Anytime we've tried to get away or we tried to build something, they stopped it. Right, so let's read a little. Right, Western Canada desperately needs rain, but it's not in the forecast. Climatologists, right? Air temperature in Edmonton significantly lower due to smoke, right? You want all those cigarettes. Now this is how you know the Lord. He is he his justice is, if you're in the truth, his justice is hilarious, right? There's no funnier, like, now I'm not trying to say the Lord's funny, but once you know the truth of this Bible, once you know who you are, here's the irony. Canada legalized smoke. They legalized weed, right? They've been selling us cigarettes for decades, right? And now Canada is smoked out. Canada is definitely smoked out. Air temperature in Edmonton significantly lower due to smoke, right? Now look at this picture if you can see it. Let's see if we can make it a little bigger, right? This is definitely a lot of smoke in this area, right? A lengthy rainfall and strong wind clouds dissipate the raging wildfires and smoky air gripping parts of Western Canada. But that's not what's in the forecast for this week, right? So if it did rain, though, the smoke and the clouds would go away, right? But that's not happening this week, says a senior climatologist with Environment Canada. As wildfires in BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba continue to burn, Environment Canada, Environment Canada's David Phillips says he's particularly shocked that smoke was covering Alberta from as high as a jet aircraft fly right now to the surface. Good night. Now that is a lot of smoke. And again, right? They legalize smoke, they legalize weed. The Lord said, "You want smoke? Here it is." And he gave it to them, right? He sent his angels to give them the smoke. They're smoking now. All the smoke you can need, all the smoke you need for your lungs, right? You want that weed smoke? He's giving you smoke from the forest burning, right? You want to burn trees? Well, look, all the trees are burning now. Inhale. One of the things that just blew my mind, and it takes a lot for me to be surprised, right? This is definitely an oppressor, right? Is that yesterday the temperature got up to 13.4 Celsius in Edmonton, but it was forecasted to be 20, 26, 27 at night. That is a jump. Okay? So the temperature was half of what it should have been. This shows you how crazy the air column was. The sun couldn't come in, and the warm air. Oh, snap. So check this out. They're saying that there's so much smoke, right? That the sun rays weren't able to penetrate the smoke, right? This is the same theory. Well, this is actually happening, but they have a theory that the beast known as dinosaurs, right? When a comet hit the earth, that the smoke clouds and the dust went up so thick that it blocked the sun, right? Now look, this sky is getting dark, but it's not getting dark from the flying saucers, from the IFOs that Christ is going to be on with 200 million angels behind him. Right? Again, hit that sign-in link if you are watching. If you have any questions to the top regarding the topic, you could type them in. One moment. All right, where were we? The water for your patience, which means thank you in Hebrew. If you do not know the Hebrew words that we say, you should get in class. There is an answer for that. You want to get in class, right? Officer of 50, Shari Wan, he teaches an excellent Hebrew class every Friday, 7 p.m. So if you don't know what the water means, that means you get in class, ask questions, right? Look, speak of a brother and he pops up. Hey, Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatha.
Shalom Adawan Yabashim Shabbat.
I was just talking about your Lashuan Kodash class.
Hey, Most High Christ.
Most High in Christ. Right? Now let's get back to it. So the temperature was half of what it would have been. This shows you how crazy the air column was. The sun couldn't come in and the sun couldn't come in and the warm air, right? So it was supposed to be 26. It was only 13, right? Although some rain was in the forecast for some areas, Philip says he doesn't see a major weather system staying put in parts of the prairies or British Columbia to help extinguish some of the flames. Barakatha Yahweh Yahweh Shah. Right? He's bringing the droughts. He's bringing the plagues. He's bringing the so-called natural disasters, right? All of this is happening because oppressors have been absolutely devilish to Native Americans, the children of Gad, right? Oppressors put the children of Gad in electric chairs for fun. They wrapped towels around their neck and choked them for fun, right? They murdered them for fun. The earth is going to keep spitting up the bodies, right, of Native American children, right? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you only call yourself that because of the oppressor. The oppressor called you Black, Hispanic, or Native American. Right now, look at this picture, right? We're going to keep going through this article. It is smoky, right? Salakia, Officer Shariwan. I was telling the people how Canada legalized weed smoke.
Khan.
Hey, Shalom, warrior. Yahweh Bashem Yahshua Barakatha.
Yabashim Shabbat. What's going on?
Salakia, your mic was, I didn't hear anything coming out of I knew you were saluting, but I didn't hear it at all. I think there's something going on with your mic, and like I can't hear you, Trooper Barak Yala. But you could try to fix it, and if you need to interrupt for a second just to test it, it's all good. We understand, right? So Shariwan, I was basically letting the people know that Canada, a few years ago, Canada legalized weed smoke and said it was free smoke, right? Now you look in Canada, the West is burning and it's free smoke. The smoke is devastating BC and the prairies, right? So much smoke that the sun rays aren't coming through to warm up the earth, right? So much smoke that there's no clouds right now. It's just smoky clouds. There's no precipitation or clean water in those clouds, right? The trooper jumped out, but he'll be right back with us.
So, Salakia, sir, is this in Toronto?
No, this is the wildfires in Edmonton right now, because there's wildfires in Edmonton, right? We're going over the disasters that are happening within Canada. It's just so interesting. The earth will help the woman, right? The earth spat up the bodies of our brothers and sisters who were murdered by our oppressors, murdered by the Catholic Church, residential schools that were funded by the Canadian government, right? Now ask yourself, why the hell did you celebrate Canada Day? Right. So this is just very interesting. After all of that, right? After COVID-19 is slowly disappearing, right? So they say we got variants and other things. Like I heard there's something called monkeypox right now, right? In the words of Captain Ashok, Mayam, get that monkey off your back. Get that captain a hand. Good night. Right? Look at this. It's just smoky, right? You wanted all that weed smoke. The Lord, he's funny. He said, listen, all the smoke you can have. What Western Canada needs is a long duration of rain, something that would spoil a camping trip over a weekend, right? Now, Salakia, we had camp over the weekend and it was supposed to rain, right? But because we were going out to bring the Lord's words out, he stopped the rain. And I hope he stops the rains for a long time. More drought, more wildfires, right? More plagues, right? Our oppressors think that everything is all fine. It's not. You've killed us for hundreds and thousands of years. Now it's time for you to pay for it, right?
Right.
Strong westerly winds that seem foreign to this time of year would also help to clear out air. So there's ways that meteorology can correct the situation, but we just don't see them coming, he said. In Edmonton, Alberta, you can taste it, smell it, see it, feel it. It's like smoking several packs of cigarettes to breathe that air in. Good night, right? Dry, smoky conditions persist as wildfires rage in BC. These are just other articles I'm reading out. So this is to let you know what's happening. On Monday, the Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency ended a fire ban as cooler temperatures and a light rainfall hit the province and let fire crews make some headway in their fight against the flames. Steve Roberts, vice president of operations, said the agency revoked the fire ban because even though the number of wildfires was high, they were not as large in size. Right? So people, oppressors still want to go camping, they still want to go have their barn fires, and they still want to act like everything's all right after they still want to enjoy the kingdom that they killed, murdered, and raped for. Right? There were 161 active fires blazing in Saskatchewan, an increase from the 137 reported fires on Friday. But Roberts said Saskatchewan has had 424 wildfires this year. Good night. I'll take a shot to that one. Mm-mm-mm. The Lord does not play. You do not want to play with the Lord, right? Which is double the provincial average and one of the highest counts in its 10-year history. Is there any more to this? Yeah, we got a little more. But Phillips says Saskatchewan isn't going to find an escape from the hot and dry temperatures anytime soon. I bet it feels like they're living in hell, right?
Right.
They want water. They want fresh water. Guess who else wants fresh water? The goddamn effing native reserves want fresh water. Excuse my French. We haven't
Right.
even hit the dog days of summer, right? The dog days of summer are those lazy days. That's about like midsummer when it's like you just in the middle of your relaxation and oppressors will be doing those line dances out west and be riding around on horses, right? Reminiscing on how they got the kingdom in the first place, right? They see the Native Americans going through it and they don't want to offer them no water. Now they're begging the Lord for water. That's ironic? I think the story is clear that the heat came early. It's been excruciatingly hot, but it's been essentially confined to the West, right? It is an unfortunate situation and it's something we've had to deal with a lot in recent years. Special air quality statement in effect for Edmonton, right? These are just other articles that are in this article. So if you go to cbc.ca and you go to the news, you can find this article and you can find the other articles talking about the wildfires, right? About 300 wildfires were burning across British Columbia on Monday, and new evacuation orders were issued for properties in several regions. Good night. We're just going to leave it at that, right? We're going to end this article right here. Right? We're going to leave that right there. Oh, Trooper. Slovakia. Hey, Shalom, Trooper. Can you hear us?
What kind? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's just a little low, but I could definitely hear you. If you could turn your mic volume up a little more, but I could definitely hear you. It's just again, it was low.
Okay, is it better now?
It's still low, but it's all good. Just throughout it for being in the class. You don't have to worry about reading if your mic is giving us trouble. But again, throughout it for being in the class, we appreciate it, Ak.
Wakan.
Officer Shariwan, can you get me uh, Nehu 1 verse 4?
Con.
Right, I'm gonna try to get there with you so I can get it myself. So, yeah.
Whenever you're ready, sir.
Give me one moment. I'm just gonna get there with you. Try to get it for myself. Yeah, you could drop that whenever you're ready.
Con. This is the book of Nahum, chapter 1 and verse 4. He rebuketh the sea and maketh it dry, and drieth up all the rivers. Bashan languisheth, and Carmel, and the flower of Lebanon languisheth.
Right. So you're seeing the Lord has made it dry, right? Western Canada desperately needs rain. Read that one more time.
Verse 4. He rebuketh the sea and maketh it dry.
Western Canada desperately needs rain, right?
Rebuketh this.
No, you could continue.
Con. He rebuketh the sea and maketh it dry.
Right, you're seeing it right now. The Lord is rebuking the sea and making it dry. Like you can't play with the Lord. His sense of humor is way beyond ours, right? He said you wanna burn Native American children and shock them. You wanna kill them. You want to make them feel like they're living in hell. Well, now you get to feel like you're living in hell, right? He rebuketh the sea and maketh it dry, right? Like there's no evaporation in that landlocked area of Western BC, right? They're in a particularly area where they're not close to the Great Lakes, so they don't get that evaporation from the lakes. They're not close to the Atlantic or the Pacific, so they're not getting that evaporation. They do have mountain regions. They're like in a flat valley where the air that would come from, that would blow the winds of the clouds that way, is not happening, right? Now let's get to, we got there. Get me 1 second. I'll get it. I'll get this one. 2 Chronicles 13 and 7, right? This is 2 Chronicles 13 and 7. If I shut up heaven that there be no rain, or if I command the locusts to devour the land, or if I send pestilence among my people, right? He's letting you, the Lord's letting you know he controls it. So when you see there's no rain in the west, in the prairies, it's because the Lord is shutting up the rain, right? He's shutting up the heavens that there be no rain, right? And that's why these fires are still burning. Let's see. Do we have anything else for these fires? Right. That's why these fires are still burning, because the Lord has done it. Right. We got two more things. We got a little video we're gonna watch. Right. Because again, Thursday there was a tornado in Barrie. Like it doesn't get no better than that. Salakia, Officer Shariwan, can you find me I just need a quick basically go through a timeline of tornadoes in Barrie. That's what I'm looking for, right? When was the last tornado that hit in Barrie outside of now? right? Because you don't always
Con,
hear about these things. You don't always hear about tornadoes in Barrie. Now, if this was in the Bible Belt where the plantations were and you heard tornadoes, you'd be like, yeah, that we always hear about that. But you don't hear about tornadoes in Barrie, right? I was on Facebook and someone said it seems like we're living in the last days. So like I had to reply, we are, right? These are the last days of this kingdom, right? Esau is the ending of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it. Meaning this kingdom is coming to an end. Our kingdom is around the corner. Now, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you will be in the kingdom, right? But you're either going to be in the kingdom in the rich and powerful, you're going to be poor, or you're going to be what's that, not poor but not rich, just in between, right? Right now, if you want to be rich and powerful, you got to get in this school, you got to put in that work for the Lord, right? Aside from that, you could either be poor or just in between, right? Which means when Christ comes, you're going to die, right? You're going to get caught up in the plagues of Babylon, right? That, like, what's that verse? It says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye are not caught up in her plagues, right? If you don't get in this school, if you don't follow the Lord, this is the only place that's going to teach you how to properly follow the Lord. If you go to a Christian's going to tell you, oh, Passover was for the Old Testament. And then when you tell them, but Christ followed Passover, right? Why don't you? They're gonna be hobbity hobbity I don't know, right? Oh, it was for the old. I said, so what pastor told you that, right? Da, 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 da. Whenever you got that link, you can let me know. I'm gonna attempt to share another video.
Salakia, other one.
Con,
The only thing I've found is there's a list of tornadoes that have ever hit Canada on Wikipedia.
con.
And the last one that hit southern Ontario was in the year 2000.
Right. So 21 years ago, there was a Barrie is part of Southern Ontario, right? If you're from Toronto, anything north of Steeles is the north, right? Slovakia. But Barrie is Southern Ontario, right? Now, 21 years ago, does it say where in Southern Ontario that tornado hit?
Salakia, sir. It says in Amherstburg, and it only knocked over about 7 trees.
Good night.
It caused very minor damage.
Well, the school has been raised up since then, and we see in the plagues. That's what we praying for, right? When I can speak for. I'll just say this: in this school, before we go to bed, we pray for plagues. We pray for this kingdom to fall. We don't pray for it to fall in a specific way. We just pray for it to fall. And when we see that it's falling, when we see the Lord hearing our prayers and answering them with tornadoes, with plagues, with pestilence, with droughts, with earthquakes, with wild forest fires, all we say is Barakatha Yahweh Yahweh Shai. Right? That's what we say. Right? We're happy that they're here. Right? Because again, once you get into this truth, you see the Lord's sense of humor and you see his justice, and you're like, well, damn, the Lord ain't nothing to F with. Don't play with that man. He's a man of war. His war is different from yours. Right, so hold up. I do want to share this. We will be going past the 9:30 mark. So if you do gotta leave, just it's all good. Like, no sweat. I know everyone got slaveries in the morning. We did start late today. You know, the oppressor is the devil, and if you have a slavery, you know why. Right? If you gotta pay rent, you know why the oppressor is the devil. Right? Oh, Salakia, let's not forget, hit that signing link if you want to. If you want to join the school, hit that signing link. Don't forget.
Salakia, other one.
Come.
Just reading through this article a little more.
Right.
To specifically answer your question, according to this article, the last tornado to hit Barrie, Ontario, was August 14th, 1995. And it does not list any damage or anything done to the city.
So what's that? A 5 plus 1. That's 26 years ago?
Come.
Right. So 26 years ago was the last tornado. Now let's go into this video. Lord willing, this video shares. If not, Officer Shariwan. If I lag out, Officer Shariwan, break down letter of Jeremiah 1:63 on wildfires.
Come.
Right? And if I'm still not back, you can go to Jeremiah 23:19, Jeremiah 25:32. It's all on wildfires, right? And hopefully I'll be back.
Come, sir.
Throughout Hawk. All right, I'm gonna attempt to share this video.
And Salakia, other one, you can send the video to me too.
Khan, I'm gonna do that right now, actually.
It looks like the Wizard of Oz house.
If only it were just a movie. As a paramedic of more than 20 years, John Hunwicks is used to responding to difficult situations, but this has left him in shock.
I picked up my phone, called my son Adam, and told him to get into the basement, and then the phone died.
At the time of Thursday's storm, Hunwicks was out getting gas, while his 15-year-old son and ex-wife were at home.
Once you start realizing that everybody's okay is when you kind of start looking and going like, holy crap, that was my house, that was my son's room.
Salakia, other one, are you there? Salakia, Trooper Brakia Allah, can you hear me okay?
Khan, I can't hear you.
Okay, Khan. Salakia, Officer Zabadi is having some technical difficulties. So let's we're gonna get into a couple scriptures and then we'll get that video back up. Salakia, bear with me. So we're gonna jump into Jeremiah chapter 23 and verse 19, and then we'll bring that video back up. So this is the book of Jeremiah chapter 23 and verse 19, and it reads, "Behold, a whirlwind of the Lord is gone forth in fury." You understand? So something that the Christian church doesn't teach, they don't talk about that much, is that the Most High is in control of everything that goes on here on earth. You understand? In the book of Ecclesiasticus, it says he sends evil spirits. He sends good spirits. And these spirits that the Most High sends, these angels that work for him, you understand, they carry out the will of the Most High. You understand? All the angels are under authority of what the Most High requires, of what the Most High commands, of what the Most High demands be done on this earth. You understand? The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3 and 17 says, the place of judgment is under the sun. You understand? This is where people get judged. It's here on earth. You understand? When you do bad things on earth, you get rewarded with evil. When you do good on earth, you get rewarded for good. You understand? The world speaks about karma. That's a real thing according to the Bible. You understand? The Most High is all about a just balance, a just weight. You understand? Recompensing the good, recompensing the evil. You understand? And so when you see these whirlwinds going on earth, when you see fires going on the earth, and plagues and storms and wars, the Most High is in control of all these things. You understand? Jeremiah 23 and 19 says, behold, a whirlwind of the Lord is gone forth in fury. You understand? These whirlwinds that the Most High sends, this is his fury being executed on the earth. This is his judgment. This is his punishment. You understand? For all the things that anger him. The book of Revelation says, for all the crimes that Babylon has done to the children of Israel, he will reward them double. You understand? His cup is filling with his fury. His cup is filling with his anger. You understand? Salakia, one moment. Salakia, guys. Officers of Body is just having some technical difficulties. But Salakia, so we were in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23 and verse 19. Right? So like I was saying, the Most High does all these things. You understand? The whirlwind is of the Most High's fury. You understand? Because the Most High is fed up. The Most High's anger and his fury is unleashing on the earth for all the evil that people have done to the children of God. You understand? For all the evil that people have done to the apple of the Most High's eyes. You understand? The peculiar people that the Most High loves. You understand? The peculiar people that the Most High chose. You understand? In the book of Matthew, he says he knows every hair on your head. You understand? We have value. Yasharallah, Prince of the Power. You understand? Anybody who touches the apple of the Most High's eye, you will receive his fury. You will feel his plagues. You understand? This is what the Most High says. And it reads, even a grievous whirlwind. You understand? Even a grievous whirlwind. What does that word grievous mean in the Hebrew? Right? The Strong's definition of that is Salakia. The definition of that is a tempest, a storm, a whirlwind. You understand? That's exactly what Barry saw. You understand? A tempest, a whirlwind. You understand? And it's a grievous thing. You see the news in Toronto. You understand? You're going to see the video that we're about to play. It's a grievous thing what happened in Barrie. You understand? All those houses that were damaged. You understand? This is what the oppressor is going to feel for touching the apple of the Most High's eyes. You understand? This is what they're feeling today, right now. You understand? For all those undiscovered bodies of the residential or of the Native Indian brothers and sisters from those residential schools. You understand? The Most High is furious at these things. The Most High is angry at these things. You understand? And these people are going to feel his punishments. And it reads, it shall fall grievously upon the head of the wicked. You understand? Salakia Trooper Barak Ya Allah. Who is the wicked of the world?
The white man, Salaki Adawan, the oppressor.
Damn right. You understand? That is the wicked of the earth. You understand? Idumea, Edom. You understand? The people of Mount Seir. You understand? That is a so-called white man, the European man, the devil the Bible speaks of. You understand? This is the wicked of the earth. You understand? And they're feeling the Most High's fury. You understand? Let's drop that. We're going to go over to the book of Jeremiah 25 and verse 32. And it reads, thus saith the Lord of hosts. You understand? It says in the book of Isaiah, every word that the Most High speaks, it will come to pass. You understand? This Bible is more than just ink on a piece of paper. You understand? This is a living word. It's alive. These things that are spoken happen. These things that are spoken and written of, they happen. You understand? And they all must come to pass. Verse 32 says, thus saith the Lord of hosts, thus saith Yahweh, the God, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation. You understand? The children of Israel are scattered to the four corners of the earth. You understand? We are dwelling in every nation around this earth. You understand? And we have been abused and oppressed all over the world. You understand? We are living in every ghetto over the entire earth. You understand? And for this, the Most High's anger is going to cover from nation to nation. It reads, and a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. You understand? Once again, the Most High doesn't have to get off his throne. You understand? The Most High sends spirits to do his bidding. You understand? All he had to do was cough in COVID-19. You understand? Shut everything down. You understand? In Egypt, the Most High sent locusts. You understand? These different plagues that the Most High sends, he can destroy a nation with anything. You understand? And during this time, he chose to use a whirlwind. You understand? He chose to use tornadoes. You understand? To execute his judgment upon these nations. Let's drop that and go to the letter of Jeremiah. We're going to go to verse 1. Verse 1 and 63. Understand? Letter of Jeremiah is in the Apocrypha. Letter of Jeremiah chapter 1 and verse 63 says, "And the fire sent from above to consume hills and woods." You understand? This verse is speaking on when Officers of Body was bringing out those fires going over in Western Canada. You understand? The Most High is sending fires. He's burning up the place. There was a whole small town over there burned down completely. The entire town evacuated. You understand? Men, women, and children went missing. You understand? This is how the Most High executes his judgment. You understand? Quick shout out to the chat. Shalom, Officer Yerad, Yabashim, and Shabrak Theth. Water for tuning in, sir. We're in the letter of Jeremiah, chapter 1 and verse 63 in the Apocrypha. It says, "And the fire sent from above to consume hills and woods." You understand? What did we see happening over in Western Canada? You understand? Forest fires. That intensive heat over there. I think that heat reached that Salakia. That was around 50 degrees. It was pretty hot over there. It was like 50 degrees Celsius over there. You understand? Reaching record temperatures over in Western Canada. You understand? These are fires. Fires sent from above to consume hills and woods. Those are forest fires. You understand? Wreaking havoc on those towns over in Western Canada. You understand? Wreaking havoc over Idumea, the so-called white man. You understand? And it reads, "Doth as it is commanded." You understand? Like I said before, the Most High commands these things. You understand? The Most High commands fires, commands whirlwinds, commands tornadoes to execute his judgment and his fury on the earth. You understand? The Most High does all these things. You understand?
Hey, Shalom Akim, I'm back.
Yeah, Most High in Christ, Adawan.
Hey, where'd you leave off?
Salaki, so we were just ending in the letter of Jeremiah in verse 63.
Okay, perfect. You can get me Jeremiah. Did you read Jeremiah 23:19?
Khan. And we finished Jeremiah 25 and 32.
Perfect. You can share that video one more time if you haven't shared it. I'm gonna send you one more video in your email, and then you can play that one right after, and we're gonna go into our second topic for the night.
Khan, sir.
Thawada again
Salakia, sir.
for handling the class while I was away.
Khan, sir. No sweat. Anytime, sir. Salakia, though, sir. I don't see a email.
You don't see an email? Okay, 1 second. I sent you this one. I'm going to send you a next one. You might have to just refresh. It should be there now.
Oh, Khan, sir. I have the buried tornado.
Yeah, you could play that one, and then right after you could play the second video. We're gonna go for anybody watching the class. We're gonna go about until 9:30, 9:40. We did start late. The oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of. And again, if you have a slavery, you live in the projects, the burials, or the native reserves, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Salaki, can you guys see my screen okay?
Yeah, it's Toab.
All right, come on, sir. I'll play that video now.
If only it were just a movie. As a paramedic of more than 20 years, John Hunwicks is used to responding to difficult situations, but this has left him in shock.
I picked up my phone, called my son Adam, and told him to get into the basement, and then the phone died.
At the time of Thursday's storm, Hunwicks was out getting gas, while his 15-year-old son and ex-wife were at home.
Once you start realizing that everybody's okay is when you kind of start looking and going like, holy crap, that was my house, that was my son's room.
Just moments later, this.
Oh my god! I started videotaping and I saw the sky. I'm like, oh my gosh, like the roof is gone. It was just utter chaos everywhere.
A GoFundMe has since been set up for John, and so far it's raised more than $22,000. Volunteers continue to work tirelessly here on site, providing a number of supports to other residents that have been displaced. A command post has been set up at a local school to serve those impacted. Residents are able to come here to collect everything from toilet paper to food and clothing.
It's been tricky, but we've all made it through. We're all working together.
It's an overwhelming community response being facilitated by the Red Cross, Salvation Army, and volunteers like Jesset Delberg and Josh Carpin.
It's us making sure they have what they need to cope through this time.
Meanwhile, crews continue to clean up remnants from Thursday's storm. Barry Fire says hundreds of homes were damaged and about 70 are completely uninhabitable.
Unfortunately, we're going to have some people whose homes are going to be demolished, and those people are going to be without, their normal home for probably up to a year.
I was thinking of you.
But despite losing it all, families like Hunwicks remain top of mind for the community, who is doing what they can to provide a little comfort during a difficult time. Brittany Rosen, Global News.
Right. Salakia, just before you get into that next video, right? Like, look at all the damage of those Salakia. Right. Look at all the damage that's happened. That was only like 2 seconds. Like, right? Like a few minutes, like really. And that was damage, right? There's a precept that it says in 1 hour, right? Salakia. Right? Basically 1 hour and our oppressors will be destroyed when it comes to Christ coming to fight against the oppressors, right? Like, look what happened in the short time of damn near under 10 minutes, right? A whole town was destroyed, right? While those oppressors live deliciously in Barrie, Ontario, Native Americans are going through hell, right? Native Americans, Salakia. Native Americans are going through hell on native reserves, right? On the reserves, they're going through hell. Right, and look at how they come together so quick to show each other brotherhood. Right. Now that doesn't compare to the brotherhood in the ISUPK, but that's to show you outside of the ISUPK, the other nations, they know how to show brotherhood. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, what are you doing? Right. That's all I want to say. If you really want to learn how to show brotherhood to your brothers and sisters, right? All you have to do tomorrow at Salakia, Officer Shariwan. What time? 5 p.m.
Concert from 5 till 7.
Right. Tomorrow at 5 till 7 on this same channel, Officer Shariwan will show you how to show your brother brotherhood, how to show your sister sisterhood, vice versa. Right. You could run that next video. This is basically like, as we were saying earlier, the plagues are happening, disasters are happening. Now we're gonna bring you some videos from Europe. right? I sent the other video in your email. It should be there.
Con, sir, I got it up.
Con, you could. How long is that video? A minute? You could play that video for a little bit.
Con, sir, it's 2 minutes.
Con.
The rushing floodwaters that tore through Schuld this week left visible scars throughout the German village. Many buildings damaged or destroyed, a toll seen firsthand today by German Chancellor Angela Merkel as the arduous cleanup continued.
Es ist erschreckend. Ich will fast sagen, die deutsche Sprache kennt kaum Worte für die Verwüstung, die angerichtet ist.
Despite the damage in Schuld, the mayor says there have been no deaths or injuries here, but flooding in Germany has now cost the lives of at least 158 people. Floods have also hit the Netherlands, and in Belgium, at least 31 people have died. Damage was severe in the town of Tol. This woman says her home had been fully renovated, but now she has to start from scratch. The European Commission promised support from members.
Salakia, man. When the rental pressers have to go through what we go through, it warms my heart, right? Like, she says she just finished renovating her home and she had to start from scratch. We had a whole town, Black Wall Street, that was making millions of dollars for black people, and they bombed it, and we had to start again.
Right.
Yes. You can continue playing.
Con.
States and raised an issue on many people's minds: climate change.
It is the intensity and the length of these events where science tells us this is a clear indication of climate change.
The discussion around climate change comes as storms and downpours persist in parts of Western and Central Europe. Saturday night saw flooding in the German-Czech border area and in Austria. This environmental advocate warns we could see more extreme weather events like this more frequently unless urgent action is taken.
So we will have to
Pause that for a second. You will see more frequent devastations like that unless more urgent action is taken. Stop oppressing Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And you're still going to go into captivity. You're still going to pay the price, but your towns might survive for a little bit, right? There's still going to be more plagues, but if you stop harassing and listen, in Germany, they have this whole thing around pagan Christmas time where they paint their faces black for the black slave that they said helped Santa Claus. Good night. Hold some floods. You can keep playing, Baba Kasha.
Important thing, just as much, probably more so, is to make sure these don't get worse, because impacts are getting to a point that they can't be adapted to in any kind of meaningful way, and therefore people are put at risk and people die.
German authorities say people are still missing in areas affected by flooding, and there are fears that more will be counted among the dead. Matt Themel, CBC News, Montreal.
Well, good night. Salakia, Officer Shaywan, get me Isaiah 28, verse 2. Trooper, Baraki Allah, how's your mic doing?
Can you hear me?
It's still kind of low. Right. Shalom, Yahabah, Shimei Ashai Barakatha, Officer. You're right. Give room to wrath, right? Right. The Lord's wrath is he's showing Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that he's going to fight for you, right? When are you gonna fight for him? When are you going to sacrifice for him? When are you going to get in these streets and bring out his words and wake up his people, right? Give room to wrath for sure. Just to let you know, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you want to right? You can always come back to this channel, but right now the general is gonna go live with the heavy hitters, with his captains, right? That he's raised up on Black Watch News, right? That's a new channel. Black Watch, one word, space news. Black Watch News. He's gonna go live, and you want to get over there right now. You could always come back to No Cowards Canada, I.S.U.P.K Canada, and watch the rest of this video. But you want to get over to Black Watch News. Also, check out the new website, blackwatch.news, right? Again, the new website, blackwatch.news. The generals are going to be live right now, right? So that's what I wanted to say, Officer Shariwan, right? If you have anything to add, you already know. Don't let me hog up all this airtime. But again, Officer Shariwan, can you get me the Isaiah 28 verse 2, Baba Kasha?
Khan, Sir Salakia, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, Khan, I can hear you. Were you speaking a while ago?
I think I'm lagging out, sir.
Nah, you're good right now. It seems like it's on time.
Okay, Khan.
Yeah, that was right
I'm holding Isaiah.
4 days after torrential rains triggered deadly floods in Western Germany.
Salakia.
It's all good, huh? You hit me with that Isaiah 28 and 2 when you got it.
Right. Khan, sir. This is Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 2. Behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one, which as a tempest of hail and destroying storm.
Right. Hold that right there. The Lord has a mighty and strong one, right? Trooper Barak Yala, can you hear us?
Khan.
Who is the Lord's mighty and strong one, Trooper Barak Yala?
Salakia, is it Israel?
Like the Lord does make Israel mighty and strong, right? Without him we are nothing. Without him we will fall victim to our oppressors all the time. But this is specifically talking about his angels, right? Especially when it comes to disasters, right? His angels go throughout the earth, and they basically do his will, right? The angels don't have the power to say no. A Christian will tell you that the angels can sin against the Lord and have the power to say no, because a Christian wants to sin, right? You could keep reading, Baba Kasha.
Khan. As a flood of mighty waters overflowing.
A what?
Flood of mighty waters overflowing.
What's happening in Germany right now, Ak?
Flood of mighty waters overflowing.
Right. So a flood of mighty waters are overflowing in Germany, right? And this is because the angels are doing it. The angels are following the Lord's commandments, right? That you're seeing it, right? The angels are following the Lord's commandments, and they're flooding Germany. Now, some people will say, "Hey, Germany had nothing to do with our oppression." Well, that's a lie, right? They're still Edomites, and every nation has had a hand in our oppression, right? So we're gonna drop that for now, and we're gonna go into Salakia. I lost Officer Shariwan. He'll be right back. He'll be jumping back in with us in a few, right? But we're gonna go into the hate that that Ham has for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? And I just got to send something to myself right quick. Right? There was a room in Clubhouse yesterday, right? And listen, if I don't show it to you, you're not going to believe me. If I don't show it to you, you're going to still think that you could love stinking Africans when they don't love us. All they want to do is kill us. All they want to do is destroy us. Right? So I got to get it for you. Officer Shariwan, can you get me Exodus 1 and 11? Right? Because everybody thinks that so-called Africans love us. Right? That is totally the opposite. Right? So-called Africans don't love us. They actually hate us. Right? And they prove it all the time. And if you don't believe me, just look at what I'm going to share for you right now. Give me one moment. I'm going to share it. Right. Give me one moment. I'm going to share it. Slovakia. Let's get it. Right. You might think that these nations love us, but they don't. They truly hate us. They show us all the time that they hate us. And it's not hard to understand, right? They know who we are. Every nation knows who we are, so they hate us. Right. While we wait, Officer Shariwan, get me Exodus 1 and 11. Salakia, Officer Shariwan, can you hear us? All right, I think Officer Shariwan is lagging out.
Salakia, sir, I can hear you.
Come on. Get me Exodus 1 and 11 when you get a chance, and just hold it. I'm gonna bring up the picture that I wanted to bring up. Right. We're gonna be going for about another 30 minutes. Bear with us. The water for tuning in. If you are here with us.
Salakia, Adawan.
Khan.
If I may, Salakia, there's I think part of the reason I'm lagging now is because there's a massive storm right now. And so like about a half hour ago was the biggest hailstorm I've ever seen in Canada.
Well,
and it was straight up hailing golf balls up here.
Well, Barakatha Yahweh that you guys are Tawab, right? And if I need to, I'm driving up in a hailstorm to be with my brother. I guess I might be calling in tomorrow. Right? You just give me the word, Hawk. What's the take? About 5? I'll be there in 4. Right? But we'll talk about that in a moment. Hold on. Let's see what's going on with my image. What's popping with my image, though? Okay. Can y'all see this? Now check this out. Look at what this says. African Americans stay in America, leave Africa alone. Right?
Yeah.
I thought Africans loved you. God damn. What are we talking about here? They said leave Africa alone. Listen, I do not want to go to the land of bushmeat. I want Israel. I want world domination. I don't need Africa. Right? The Africans made a deal with our oppressors to sell us into slavery, and now, like, Salakia, just Officer Shariwan, if you can find me an image of South Africa, of what's going on in South Africa right now. Right? You don't have to find a video, but find me an image, right? I just want this to stay up just a little longer so you see it, right? Now look, this is 127 people. And I was in this room yesterday, and out of the 127 people, you could say 107 of them were Africans, right? 20 of them were people who thought they were Africans. The 25 on stage talking that were talking, they were African. And anytime someone came up who wasn't African, if they started saying something that made sense, the Africans would mute them and put them back down or cut them off, right? So I'm going to remove that, right? Africans never loved us. They definitely never loved us, right? They sold us into slavery. They've hated the children of Israel forever, right? They're going to continue to hate us. We are not the same, right? And if I may, let me show you that we are not African, right? Every officer, every trooper, every student should have a Zondervan's Pictorial Bible Dictionary, right? It's right here. You can get it off of where did I get this? I got this off of, I think it was Amazon. Yeah, I got this off of Amazon. It came in a couple of days. If you're in the school, if you're an I.S.U.P.K, right, contact your camp leader and they might have one, or contact one of your brothers if you need help getting one. But you should have one of these. They come in very handy, right? At camp, there was this Hamite trying to get me to love him while I was talking to a brother. And I simply explained to him, I can't love you because you sold my people into slavery. He said, we didn't sell your people into slavery. I said, where are you from? He said, Ghana. So I said, the Ghanaians didn't help with slavery? I said, so are you a liar right now? He said, no, yeah, we did. But so I said, but why do you want me to love you? He said, listen, it's not about that. So I said, what are you coming? Long story short, he wanted me to love him. I said, I can't love you because all my love went to these brothers right here and I have none for you. Right? Then he wanted to continue to tell me that we're the same. And he had a Bible in his hand. So I had to say, well, open your Bible dictionary. He said, my what? Hold up. Let me get right. Ham, right here. I don't know if you can see it. Let me bring it a little closer. Right, you probably can't see it. The ham, right? Now I'm gonna read it for you. Right, all you got to do is even go type this in on the internet and it will pop up. Right, Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. Right, that right there cuts God is all love, because out of the whole population of the earth, 8 people survived a flood. That means over 100 people were killed. Right, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites. Right? That's to let you know. Not the Negroes. So who are the Negroes? Right? The Negroes are the tribe of Judah. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are Israelites. We're not Hamites. Native Americans, you are not what do they call them? Salakia. They say Caucasoid. They say Salakia. There's a word for what they like to turn around and say Native Americans are. They like to spread the myth of some fake ice bridge, right? I don't know if anybody's been up north and understands how cold it is, right? And understands how long the travel is from Alaska to Russia. It's a long travel, and you're walking through ice and snow, right? I don't think anybody understands. And you have to find food, right? That whole ice bridge theory is a myth. It's impossible, right? And there's no evidence of an ice bridge, right? Or land that was connected between the two continents, right? But Native Americans, you are from the tribe of Gad, right? And the list goes longer. Just check out isupk.com. Look for our 12 tribe chart, right? Or in 2 weeks, just meet us at Young and Dundas on a Saturday, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. We'll be right there 2 to 3 weeks from now, breaking down who you are. Come up and ask us any questions you want. Another thing is, the whole time we were talking, the Hamite was over off in the corner, not saying anything, didn't want to come up and talk to us. As soon as we were finished, that's when he wants to come and talk to us. Such, like, who cares what you have to say? You didn't want to talk to us when we were speaking on issues. When I asked how many people care that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans were sold into slavery, how many people care that Native Americans don't have drinking water, he never said anything, right? So you can read Exodus 1 and 11, Baba Kashar.
Khan. Salakia, can you hear me okay?
Khan, I got you.
Khan. This is Exodus chapter 1 and verse 11. Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities,
Right.
Pithom and Ramses.
Right. So this is what's happening, right? When we were in Egypt, Hamites, Egyptians, right? The children of Ham had us in captivity, and they had us building things for them, right? They had us building cities. You can keep reading.
Khan. Verse 12. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. And they were grieved because of the children of Israel.
You can keep reading.
Salakia, sir, did you say keep reading?
Khan, yeah, keep going, because we're going to go to 16. We are running in on the time, but you could take me right to 16, and then we'll break it down.
Khan, sir. This is Exodus 1 and verse 13. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor, and they made their lives bitter with hard bondage, in mortar and in brick, and in all manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor.
Hold that right there. Right? So this is telling you that the children of Israel, we have to serve these Hamites, right? Just like we serve the nations right now, we have to serve them, right? They made us build their cities, right? If you're anywhere in the Western Hemisphere or you're in Europe, you're building their cities and they hate you, right? And this is all the oppressors, every nation outside of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Specifically, this verse is talking about Ham. This is before we walked out of Egypt, before the Lord sent the plagues and we celebrated the first Passover, right? We were serving with rigor, right? Baba Kashar, get me the definition of rigor.
Come.
Right? We were serving with rigor, right? Our bondage for them was hard, right? And if you keep reading and you jump down more into the story of Exodus, you're gonna find out that when we asked for freedom, they said, you know what? We're not giving you straw to build the mortar bricks no more. You got to find it on your own, right? So they hated us. They've always hated us. And if they didn't hate us, if Hamites don't hate us, if Africans don't hate us, ask us how you got into slavery, right? Just go ask yourself, how did we get into slavery, right? How did the oppressor get us onto the ships, right? If you have the definition, you could read it. And if anybody has anything they want to add, feel free to add at any time.
Con, sir. Salakia, just one thing, sir. I am holding a picture of what's going on in South Africa.
Oh, you can give me the definition of rigor and then show that picture right quick.
Con, sir. So this is the Merriam-Webster's definition of rigor. It means harsh inflexibility in opinion, temper, or judgment. The quality of being unyielding or inflexible.
Right. So they were harsh towards us, right? They didn't care that we were going through a harsh labor. They were harsh towards us. Now you could share that picture of South Africa, and just this is what's happening in South Africa is the South Africans, who I believe are Canaanites, they're basically upset with our oppressors, right? And they're looting and killing each other, right? They're upset with the government system that's ran by oppressors, right? Now, this is what happens when you make a deal with the devil, right? Look at that. What is that? Is that a gun? Good night. They're looting and they're what did that African, there was an African lady in DC. She basically said that we were savages and that we didn't have to loot and we didn't have to burn down our own neighborhoods because the oppressors were killing us. Right. Well, now look at what's happening. South Africans are burning down their own neighborhoods and looting because they're angry at oppressors. You can get rid of that.
Slacky, sir, you're on mute.
Khan, I was just talking to my nephew for a second. Slacky. Right. I got him in class with us. He be listening. Right. Where did we leave off in Exodus?
We're in verse 15, sir.
You can keep reading until 16.
Come. Verse 15. And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other Puah. Verse 16. And he said, when ye do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But
you
if
shall
it be
what?
Then ye shall kill him.
You shall love him.
Kill him.
Treat him like your brother.
Kill him.
Right? Africans don't love us because they wanted the midwives to
kill him.
Right. They wanted the midwives to kill the Hebrew sons. Right? Africans don't love us. Right? You're going to find out really harshly that Africans don't love you unless you can spend money with them. Unless you could go into their beauty shops and get your hair done or buy the beauty products that you need. That's the only time they love you. How much are you spending with them? That's when they love you. Right? Again, it is late. If you do have to go, I understand. We're gonna rock this class out for like another 15, maybe 20 minutes, right? And then we're gonna end the class. right? Was that the end of verse 16?
Allah, sir.
You could read till 16.
Come. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live.
Right. So they, just like every nation that hates blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they hate blacks, Hispanics, and Native American men, but our beautiful daughters, they want the daughters, right? Because they know that you are the seed of your father, right? You can get me Psalms 83 verses 4.
Come. This is Psalms chapter 83 and verse 4. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Baba Kasha, jump up to verse 2 for a second.
Come. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
Thine friends?
Enemies make a tumult.
Thy brethren.
Thine enemies.
That's about it. You could jump back down to verse 4. That's just to give you a little what's the word I'm looking for? A little context to what we're going into, right? Our enemies, right? Keep reading.
Verse 4. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Right.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Right. Read.
Verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
Right. So this is talking about our enemies. They've come together to make sure that we were cut off as a nation, right? This is what happened, right? Flash forward into the fall of Jerusalem. We ran into Africa to hide from our oppressors, and we tried to live with another nation, right? This nation they came together to cut us off, right? They came together to cut us off and sell us to our oppressors. Right? Keep reading.
Come. Verse 6. The tabernacles of Edom.
Oppressors which are Caucasians.
The tabernacles of Edom.
Read.
And the Ishmaelites.
Who are the Arabs.
Of Moab.
Who are the Chinese.
And the Hagarenes.
I gotta get a little more I gotta ask the man above me on exactly who the Hagarenes are. You could keep reading.
Verse 7. Gabal and Ammon.
Right? Ammon is the Japanese.
And Amalek.
Amalek is the so-called fake Jewish man.
The Philistines.
Africans. Read.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
These are the nations that came together to cut us off, right? And it's so interesting because you see, now I have a theory and I'm still researching it to prove it, but I believe during the slavery, we were the ones who built that Great Wall of China, right? Because it's around the same time, and you got to ask yourself, what did the oppressors trade with the Chinese to get gunpowder, right? That's a theory that is not proven. I wouldn't suggest you teach that, but that's just my theory, right? Back to what I was saying, right? So the Amaleks, they funded the building of the ships that the Ishmaelites built, right? The Ishmaelites built the ships for the Edomites, right? The Edomites went into the land of fleas, the land of bushmeat, where the sons of Ham dwelt, and the Hamites came and got us, right? And then they shipped us all around the world, right? We were scattered all around the world, right? You can bring me to Genesis 26 and 14. Right? And if there's anything y'all want to add, don't forget, y'all can add it anytime. Don't forget, once again, Black Watch space news. Black Watch, hit your space bar, then type the word news in your YouTube channel and go watch it live right now. After that, go to Black Watch news and hit enter and go check out that website. You can get Bubba Kashaw. Get me Genesis 26 and 14.
Come on, sir. This is Genesis chapter 26 and verse 14. For he had possession of flocks and possession of herds and great store of servants, and the Philistines envied him.
Right. Hold up. Let me just go up to verse 12 for a second, just to give you some context of what's going on.
Come. Verse 12. Then Isaac sowed in that land and received in the same year 100-fold, and the Lord blessed him.
All right. So this is after Abraham. This is Isaac, right? Now you can jump back down to 14.
Verse 14. For he had possession of flocks and possession of herds and great store of servants, and the Philistines envied him.
Right? The Philistines envied Isaac. Again, the Philistines are Ham. Today, Ham is the Africans, right? They envied him, right? Now this is just like what I heard in the clubhouse yesterday, where they envy us. They taught that crap, right? Like someone literally said, we don't want Tupac and rap music in our country. But like, goddamn, like Wale made rap music and y'all be like, Wale is the best, right? Wale learned rap music from blacks, right? The same people that you said you don't want over there. So again, we're only good when we can make you money. But if it comes to us so-called going back to Africa, right? Now, we know we're not Africa. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans should never want to go back to Africa, right? Unless it's time of the kingdom and you got some slaves over there, right? You got some people in captivity over there, right? Like Revelations 13 and 10 says, he who leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, and he who killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword, right? The Hamites led us into captivity. So when the kingdom comes, we're going to have some Hamites in our captivity. They're going to build our kingdom. They're going to give us all their gold and all their possessions, right?
Damn right.
Read it.
Come. Verse 15. For all the wells which his father's servants had digged.
Right, hold that right there. So in the time of Abraham, he was in the land of Canaan, and where he was dwelling, he built wells for water, right? His servants built wells. His peoples, they built wells. You have to understand how hard it is to build a well. There's a science for building a well where it comes to, you have to know where the water is, right? You might have to dig 20 feet, maybe 30 feet into the earth to get that stream of fresh water, right? And build that well, right? That's what Abraham's servants did. Now let's see what these Hamites did, right? And tell me if this is love. Read.
For all the wells which his father's servants had digged in the days of Abraham his father, the Philistines had stopped them and filled them with earth.
They filled them with love?
Filled them with earth.
Right. So these wells they filled with earth, right? That is not love, right? This to show you there's a long history of Hamites hating us, of Africans hating blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Read.
Come. Verse 16. And Abimelech said unto Isaac, Go from us, for thou art much mightier than we.
And that is the whole thing right there. They know that because of the Lord, the Lord made us special, right? The Lord made us special, and now Abimelech is telling Isaac to go from us because you're mightier than us. Read.
Come. Verse 17. And Isaac departed thence, and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar, and dwelt there. Verse 18. And Isaac digged again the wells of water, which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father. For the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham. And he called their names after the names by which his father had called them.
Right, you can hold that right there. And now jump to Deuteronomy 28 and 68, Baba Kasha. Right? This will be our last precept for the night. Right? And just hold it. The dark history of Nigerian colonial town Badagry. I do not know how to say that, nor do I care. Right? I'm just going to say it's a town called the Land of Fleas. But however they call it is however they call it. Right? Now check this out. One of Africa's first slave ports. So they had slave ports in Nigeria. The so-called Nigerians, they're not showing us love, right? Now, you have some people who might want to go into business with a Nigerian. They might forget that the Nigerians sold us into slavery, right? They might let the lust of money and the lust of their father, the devil, right, make them forget all the pain and torture that blacks, Hispanics went through because of Nigerians, right? Now let's read. As one of the 5 divisions created in Lagos State, 1968 in Nigeria, Badagry is an ancient town in Nigeria with a dark past and a significant presence. The small coastal town of Lagoon Port is one of the most important towns in colonial history of Nigeria and Africa, and is close to 593 years old. That sounds like around the time the slave ships were leaving. Unlike Ghana and the West African countries in the infamous slavery that happened in the colonial days, Nigeria is sidelined on the historical front of Africa. However, Nigeria and its small town of Badagry hold a very significant part of slave trading and missionary work days of ancient Africa. Right? Look at this. This is how they live right now. Right? Don't ever think that these Africans are poor and that they need your help and your support. Right? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in the 6 nations, in the Caledonia, up north, right? All the reserves you could think of, all the ghettos you could think of, all the burials you could think of, they need your love and support. Hamites don't need your love nor support. Right? Hold up. Presently, the town is inhabited by the Igun and Awari people from Ogun State. By the 15th century, the Badagry port had become a popular route for trade. right? They were trading blacks. The so-called tribe of Judah, Benjamin, and the tribes of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, that's what they were trading. Around 1736, a notable transaction that changed the town from a peaceful settlement into a slave port is said to be the innocent welcome of Dutch trader who settled in a nearby town from the west of Nigeria. Right, so we're going to drop that. Right. These so-called Africans would trade us. We were what they traded. Hold up. Officer Shariwan, can you read Deuteronomy 28 and 68 for me, Baba Kasha?
Con, sir.
I'm gonna just, while you read that, I'm gonna share a series of pictures that I found, right? That they have in their. You would think for a people that love you, for a people that you're supposed to be family to, that say love us, you would think they wouldn't have these images up in their so-called museums, right? Let's see these images. You could definitely read that precept.
Con, sir. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Right.
With
For those
ships.
of you that don't know, the word Egypt is a Greek word for bondage, right? So the Lord is going to bring us into bondage again. With what, Officer Shayuan?
With ships.
With ships, right? So we went into bondage with ships. Now ask yourself, how did you get into the Caribbean? How did you get into the UK, right? How did you get into the Americas? With what, Officer Shayuan?
With ships.
With love.
With ships.
Right? You got into your slavery with ships, right? Now look at this image right here. These are images of so-called black men with chains on. Why would this image still be up in the town, in a Nigerian town, right? If they loved you, would they have this image up? Right? Let's see if I can make it even a little more bigger. Slovakia. Right? Look at that. These aren't drawn on chains. These are actual chains in the wall. Right? Read it one more time from the top.
Con. Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Right. So you're seeing that they're going to bring us into, we're going to go into bondage again with ships. Right? I'm going to stop that one. Get rid of that one. You can keep reading.
Con. And Salakia, sir.
If
I may. If I'm not mistaken, one of the first slave ships to reach the Americas was called the Good Ship Jesus.
Good night. Right. That's to let you know, right? They're trying to make a mockery of who we are. Right. And they use our scriptures to hurt us all the time. They know exactly who we are.
Con.
Right. Keep reading.
Con. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
Right. So we're gonna be going into bondage again with ships and not see our homeland again. That didn't say we're not gonna see Africa again, because Africa is not our homeland. We come from Israel. Right. Now look at these chains on the wall. They're saying that these are actual chains that were used. They've had them for so long. Right? Read that part again.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
Right. We're not going to see our homeland again. Right. I think I got one or two more images to share. Right. And all you have to do is just go and just Google slave trade in Nigeria. You can find all these images. It's not really hard. We live in the internet age where you can find a lot of misinformation, a lot of fringes on shirts, right? But you could also find the truth of your history, right? That's what you'll find. You'll find the truth about your history and how Hamites don't love us. The internet is so big that groups of Hamites gather together on apps to talk about how much they don't love us. Right? And I was trying to get the audio from that conversation because they were saying a lot of things, right? They were basically saying that we're gonna come over there with a colonizer's mentality. Right? They were saying things like, we're going to come over there and try to change the landscape and that we don't care about family and our family structure is not the same way, right? They have no compassion for what happened to our family structure. They have no compassion for and no sympathy for what the oppressor did to us, right? But now they want us to have sympathy for them and give them money, right? They want us to care about what's going on in South Africa, right? Like Slovakia. Like some of the biggest fraudsters in Canada are Nigerian, right? We did a story a while back about a Hamite doctor who was in the Jane and Wilson area selling fentanyl out the back door, right? He was ordering fentanyl and he couldn't give it away fast enough, right? And where do you think that fentanyl went? Into the Black, Hispanic, and Native American communities, right? And you're supposed to love these people? Do you think the slaves that were on the slave ships loved the Hamites, the Africans that were rounding them up? Do you think that the slaves wanted to be brothers and sisters with the Hamites that were rounding us up? Right? That's a question you got to ask yourself. Right? Read that. You can run through that whole precept one more time from the top, Baba Kasha, and then we're going to end the class.
Come. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
Right? We're going to be sold onto our enemies for slave men and slave women, and no one is going to buy us, right? Now, I left this on the screen so you could see it, right? The water to the warriors that came into the class tonight. Keep up the good work. Keep bringing out this truth. Defend this truth. Never love no stinking Hamites, because our great-grandfathers and great-grandmothers didn't love them while they were being raped and thrown off overboard for shark food, right? Now look at this. It says, Bagadri, slave route, point of no return, journey to the unknown destination. This is a journey. From here, it was a journey into rape, into murder, into having your child cut out from you, into being chased through swamps, to be eaten alive by hounds, to be whipped, to have limbs cut off, for our sisters to be experimented on. The only reason we know about gynecology right now is because some devil decided to prod through our sisters. And how the hell are you supposed to love an oppressor? I can't wait to bring this out to camp the next time, because there was I seen a brother walking with some mutt, some dog, some woman that Christ would call a dog. And I said, black man, you're supposed to love your sisters. You're not supposed to be with an oppressor? How could you be with an oppressor knowing what we've gone through? And he laughed, right? He's going to have to pay for it. He's going to get caught up in these plagues, right? Hopefully he can come back. Hopefully he wakes up before it's too late, right? Again, this is the ISUPK history class. We did run over the time, right? But go check out Commanding General YAHANNA, Blackwatch News, blackwatch.news. Check out that website. Again, this is the history class. Everyone clap it up. Class is dismissed.